Hello there. So, another gold nugget, another awareness I grew into in this journey of cancer. And that was one of the things that took me a bit to, took me a bit, it took an experience, it took a while before I figured out that that was actually something that was happening. And it is the fact that you need to, let's call it start over time and time again, or you have to find the motivation again, again, and again, and again. Um, each step of the way has its own challenges. And of course, it's, the obvious where each scan, each conversation with the specialist, you have to brace yourself and get in that mindset where you listen to the information and don't take in all that projection that they have working in this field for so long, and knowing the statistics and going from that place rather than coming from the knowledge of you. um, so that, it takes a lot of energy and effort to step into all these moments where you are listening and then you hear all this stuff. You have to take it in. Your emotions come, you deal with them, um, and then comes the next time and the next time and the next time. And you, you can't exactly. Well, you could decide, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore and I'm going to step out and I'm not going to get this particular treatment. That's perfectly fine. That's your choice. But if you are in that kind of treadmill, um, every time is anew. And yes, of course, not the information isn't new. The information is a stacked um, pile of I want to say shit, but a stacked pile of things to deal with, things to incorporate into your being and your understanding of what's going on for you. Now, the same holds true for every time you step into a treatment room. I was radiated two different times, once on the spine and once on my liver, and I made the mistake. I made the mistake of, and they were about a little over a year apart. And I thought that the liver would be exactly the same as the spine. And then I got into the prep meeting and the prep for the liver, and I realized, oh, really isn't the same. True, I wasn't as nervous about the machine anymore and that kind of Star Wars room, and all that. That's true. I was mentally prepared for the environment I was going to be in. Same holds true for an operation. The first time in an operating room, I was completely overwhelmed by this sea of white and sterility, and all these people moving around in their little uniforms that seemed kind of alien. Um, and the second time, it didn't daunt me as much. Every 3 weeks, I go back in hospital and I get my treatment. And at first, that's we get back, we're back, and you get into a routine there too. That's all true, but emotionally, mentally, every time you have to, well, I find I had to, I have to kind of not so much psych myself up, but get back into that healing space and get back into feeling into myself and understanding what it is that I need, where I'm at for this treatment, and what I'm hoping for this treatment, or what I believe this step means on the journey towards healing. And that motivation, that trust in myself comes from a very deep place, and it comes from a place where I really feel connected to my love for life. Um, and and I love and respect and honor all the people that are in that journey, helping me to get there. And I find that that creates a very different atmosphere and a different relationship between myself and those that are my caretakers for that moment, for that day. And that goes from, the people that are scheduling stuff to the people that stick needles in you, or the people that make the plans and write the reports and all that kind of stuff. So, or the person that comes with you to a meeting. Um, all of them are in that field and in that experience. I've taken them in that experience. I've taken them into that experience with me. And I love them for it. And I'm grateful that they are there. Um, and yeah. And that's very much the medical side of things. But at the same time, uh, working out my body with all the different treatments, with you know cancer often is, for me, it's been a journey of information, of of being allowed, not being allowed, having to recover from, yada yada yada. And that meant that I had to start over in the gym so many blimming times. It's incredible. Or I was allowed to do this in the gym, but I wasn't allowed to do that in the gym, and I could use this muscle, but I couldn't use that muscle, and it would drive me absolutely fucking mad. But at the same time, this deep belief that I hold that going back into that gym, getting strong and fit and healthy is so much part of the journey. Is It is such a strong motivation for me to keep coming back to it. And I have this fantastic personal trainer, and she is with me on that journey, and she's so strong and steady as she supports me through it. And trust me, I've cried my way through quite a few workouts, and that's okay. That's the tears are cleansing in a sense. They are the emotions that just don't have anywhere else to go but out. Um, and so I've learned to cry all over the place. I'm not that bothered anymore. I have tears and snot and everything. You know, it happens. It's okay. I know some people freak out when they see it, or they immediately want to come to you and go, and want you to stop. Well, they don't want you to stop, but their reaction is making you want to stop, because you're like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. No, I'm just a blubbering mess right now, and that's what needs to happen for me. And it's part of that acceptance that that's where I'm at, and I'll come back to, and I know each and every time I will come back to this place where I know why I'm doing this, and this is this love of life, and this deep connection I have to my will to keep walking on, to keep my head held high, and do this in a way that is true to me. Because not my journey is not everybody's journey. We all do it our own way. So I don't hold the truth for every cancer patient. I only hold my own, and that's all I can share about. And that's, and that might look completely different for somebody else, but have the same quality to it. Yeah, oh, I could go on about this starting over and over and over again. The same thing with eating. Really, besides the not feeling so much like eating maybe when I was on chemo, but this whole emotional roller coaster had my very icky relationship with food also have lots of ups and downs. When I go back into deep emotion, oh, suddenly that sugar is very attractive again. And I don't beat myself up about that stuff. Sure, okay. I might go off the rails for a while, but again, because I know that I have this very clear vision and this very strong drive to keep going on that path and in that way that I want to be there, I come back to it, and there we go again. So it's about finding that deep-seated belief, that drive, that motivation, that connection, which to me, is that label love. That helps me in this case, but it could help you to find that and have it be your anchor, your center point that you can keep focusing in on every time you kind of fall out of balance, and then come back to that. All right, you take care. It was good seeing you again, and I'll see you for the next gold nugget. Bye bye.